I got a super juicy XRP video for you. What if I told you with XRP you had 100% control, but with ETFs you only had 62%? What would you rather have? And there's been a delisting of XRP on a crypto index. But don't worry. This isn't bad news at all. This is me actually telling you a story of why they're doing it, and it makes sense. And Ripple, why would they be buying back private shares of their company? What's the point of buying back private shares? Well, I'm going to share with you why they would buy back their private shares and how some juicy action could come of this. And for real, would you rather have 100% control or 62% control? Let me know in the comments below, and I'm going to blow your mind with exactly what I'm talking about. 2W134 drops some support for the channel. Thank you very much, sir. Says, paid for your coffee to hang out on the mountain. Love your show. Not always happy with you. Tell me the truth hurts sometimes. Well, thank you, 2W. I will hang out on the mountain with my friends. Now, Simon Curtis says, why would a company buy back their shares unless they know there'll be a significant rise coming? Only a madman would do such thing, or is there a deal or settlement coming? Ripple knows it's logical, it's obvious no matter what the other reason they give. Actually, I'll give you the reasons why companies buy back IPOs. Put it this way, okay? A company will buy back their stocks to increase the value of their shares. And we're talking about private shares, okay? Ripple is a private company, they have private shares. Now, if they buy back those shares, those private shares are worth more, which means the company has a higher value, okay? Higher value per share. So when they get ready to do an IPO, which could happen once the case is done, once they're done with primary sales information, they then would be able to IPO their company at a higher valuation, all right? So what they're doing right here is they're taking their private shareholders, they're bringing them back some equity, right? Making them whole, right? Buying back some of the stuff that's been out there. And they're bumping up the valuation of their company. So that is why a company buys back shares. It has nothing to do with a settlement or anything like that. They're doing it to make their shareholders whole, right? To repay their shareholders for investing and to give their company a higher valuation for future funding later. Pretty cool, huh? Brett Garlinghouse says, Klaus, talking about lies. Brett Garlinghouse on stage said in order for XRP to get to the Howey test, you'd need a contract. Then he said there's no contracts, so you don't even get to the Howey test. Judge Torres ruled that institutional sales of XRP security offerings, now the SEC wants the contracts from Ripple with those institutional sales. But I thought Brad said there wasn't any. Was he lying? What else were they potentially lying about? And Aunt Lynn says, damn it, Klaus, I knew you were a member of the KGB. All right, let's learn and let's talk more about Ripple XRP. Seriously, the whole buyback thing, that's on their private shares. This happens all the time when companies want a larger valuation. Bitcoin's in at 43,225. Ooh, down 5.6%. ETH 2562. Still holding on. Got to make some money. 57.7 is the price of XRP. Sold at 93 with XLM right now sitting at 12 cents. All right. BlackRock and Fidelity top Bitcoin ETF inflow 1 billion 2 days. There's some juice. But the problem is the juice didn't lead to price action. Now, hold up. Some of you out there are going to be like, but bro, it hasn't happened yet. No, bro, like, it happened and, like, nothing really happened. I've got some stats, though, to share with you, and then we're going to go over some percentages. Okay. After weathering months of anticipation, 20 months to be exact, Bitcoin ETFs have finally stepped into the spotlight. Since gaining approval, BTC ETFs, I like that, have attracted nearly $1.5 billion in new capital through 500,000 trades. So where is that money really going? It's flooding into those ETFs, flowing into those ETFs. Now, is this passing on to native token price action? Hell no. By the way, I've got some updated numbers here if you want to take a look at it. Total flows and stuff like that, premiums, discounts. Now, earlier I said, hey, look, you want XRP, you got a 100% chance. You want these ETFs that I got up on the screen, you got a 62% chance. You're like, Klaus, what the hell are you talking about? Well, let me ask you a question right now. It's Sunday, right? And tomorrow is Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. What happens today and tomorrow? For those of you that do not live in the United States, I'll help you out. The markets are closed, so ETFs aren't even trading on Monday either. Guess what, everyone? When you trade XRP, you have 7 days that you could trade out of 7 days of the week, which means you get to trade it for 100% of the time. These ETFs on most weeks are only good for 5 days out of the week. Next week, you can only trade an ETF for 4 days. So if you were to trade an ETF 5 out of 7 days a week, because remember they're closer to 71% chance. 71% chance. I think I said 68 earlier, but 71. That's it. So as the world happens 24/7, you only have a 71% chance of capitalizing on it. Now what's messed up about that is the world, finances, money, all that stuff flows 24/7. But see, these ETF players, they can't do anything about it. So these ETF players that are sitting here, they're like, yo, bro, we're into the grayscale BTC action. We're into some pro shares. We're into some wisdom tree action. That's all well and good. Because as news breaks 24/7, hey, a few weekends ago, you know what happened, right? There was a little bit of Israel-Hamas flare-up action, a little bit of Middle East turmoil flare-up. When that happened, the market went poo, poo, poo. Dude, ETF players couldn't get in on it. Native token players, we were able to buy the dip, weren't we? We were able to sell and reposition, weren't we? Why? Because we can trade the market for 100% of the time. ETFs, at best, can only trade the market 71% of the time. Now, this week coming up, where they can only trade 4 days this week, that's right, because Monday it's closed for ETF trading, they only can trade 57% of the time for this week. So, people can say about how ETFs are super juicy and all this stuff. Well, number one, they're not leading to price action. Number two, yeah, they're making, I don't know, Grayscale money, Invesco money, Franklin Templeton money, Bitwise, Fidelity. It's not transferring over to price. But those same ETF players can't reposition during the weekends. Those same ETF players can't take profits on the weekend if we get moon action. Those same ETF players can't trade on Monday, which is tomorrow. Why? Because traditional finance tools are closed on weekends, and they're closed on federal holidays. So as much as this is awesome, guess what, XRP fans? You can trade 100% of the news 100% of the time. So you can protect yourself on the way up. You could also protect yourself on the way down. What if news now, and hold on, the percentages are way less. Got to be honest with you. Because I took this as if these were whole days, but these aren't whole days. These are business hours. Oh, so the numbers are even way lower. Think about that. Can only trade these ETFs during trading business hours, which is less than a full day, which isn't every day of the week, and yet people are out here thinking ETFs are the thing. Come on now, everyone. Those ETFs holders are going to get flushed nasty. They're not going to be able to do anything on the weekends or outside of normal trading hours. So as 8 p.m. Eastern time hits and those ETFs shut down trading, guess what happens in the Asian markets? The Asian market wakes up, and we know they love selling off on the weekends, right? Well, sorry, ETF fans. All right, let's talk about XRP being dropped for Solana. Don't think this is anything bad. For all of you out there who are like, bro, you never bring any good news. Well, this is not like it's good news, but this isn't bad, and I'm going to share with you why. Hong Kong's crypto index drops XRP for Solana. What's behind the decision? The HKVAC, known for providing ratings of digital asset trading platforms and crypto market indices, announced the removal of Ripple's XRP from its top 5 global crypto index. Solana, the high-performance blockchain, took its place. Oh, okay. So the reason Solana took its place is not because they don't like XRP, but they're reflecting the top 5 global index. So when Sol had its massive pump, it replaced XRP in market cap, right? So it's not that they don't like XRP. They're just throwing what's the flavor of the month on this index, right? So like, let's pretend next month Solana flops completely, and let's say something like XLM goes to the top. No, that's a lie. That won't ever happen. Let's say something like Tron goes to the top, TRX, right? Then you know what they're going to do? They're going to replace one of the things that fell out with the thing that fell in, which would be Tron, okay? So I'm not looking into this at all. Like, I mean, at all. Because markets change all the times, and these indexes are constantly getting redone. By the way, Grayscale did some re-indexing later, and they did some re-indexing. Why? Because XRP garnered some support. So as like these cryptos reshuffle, these indexes reshuffle. Does it mean that the HKVAC has less faith in XRP? No, it's just a reflective of who's top 5 in the market right now. And we know that changes over time, so don't read into stuff like this. All right, now XRP price action. I've got 1 year up on the screen, and we know the story, Morning Glory. But the bigger story is when we zoom out to the month. And we start looking at this ETF action right here going, dude, that was a serious, legit nothing burger. Now, did we reach some low points here? Yes, we did. January 6th, we got under 55 cents. Trains leaving the station? No, I don't think so. I mean, you can probably walk faster than the train, but that's up to you. But we popped up from that 55 cent mark. You can also check out right here. We popped up from 53.8. So do we have support above 50? Yes, we do. Is that what we really wanted? No, not at all. Especially when I say, hey, look, this is your ETF action right here. Your ETF action actually had a pullback in XRP. I don't know. ETF seems to be a big nothing burger. I'm not worried about XRP being removed from Hong Kong's index. ETF players out there can't even trade half the time of day during the week where native asset holders can. So yeah, you were able to buy the dip this weekend, but you know who couldn't buy the dip? ETF holders. You know why? Because they've got to wake up at about 3 in the morning on Tuesday to get some of that early market action in. Yeah, they have to wait till 3 a.m. Meanwhile, it's Sunday, 10:07 in the morning, and you and I can still trade XRP for at least 48 hours before they get into the market. So I know you're not happy with XRP price action at the moment, but remember, you can trade it 24/7. You could take profits. You could play pumps and dumps. You could buy the tip and sell the dip. ETF holders, though, they gotta win. So, I mean, really, how juicy is this ETF stuff gonna be? I mean, do you really think next week we're all of a sudden gonna just be, like, going gangbusters and just blowing things out the roof? I don't know, man. Buy the rumor, sell the news, and crypto has been happening. And in as much as content creators out there want to say trillions will flow, the problem we got is money is just way too expensive. I would have loved these ETFs if they would have been launched like a couple years ago when money printer go burr. You could have had some insane moon action with that going on because there would have been more money to bolster this, but now the moves aren't there. Now, good news for you. Again, people are like, bro, you never talk about anything like news-wise that's good, okay? The ETFs brought in some massive volume. Like, massive volume. Bigger BTC ETFs than the rest of the ETFs out there when they launched. It was huge. But it didn't lead to any native token juiciness. So now you're going to have like this subset of market, the subset that's going to play the ETFs, and then the subset that's going to play native tokens. What we need to see, though, is what does the volatility look like between the two, and what are the opportunities between the two? Because think about this. If after a year, you're in this ETF and you're like, oh my God, dude, we're kind of just doing this kind of little undulations. Man, I should have gotten a native asset because I could have bought it. I could have flipped it, pumped it, dip, right? But the ETFs aren't going to. ETFs are way less volatile. And why do people get into Bitcoin in crypto? It's the volatility. So I don't know. I think a lot of people out there were sold that this ETF was going to be something big, but I don't think this ETF really addresses the hole in the market that was there. I don't think this ETF is going to be anything special because, you know what? If Middle East turmoil were to break out right now as we're watching this video, you know what could happen? You and I could buy the dip. Let's say there was a settlement right now, like right now, like they're like, hey, look, we're gonna do a settlement, primary sales, we've got the penalty done right now. You know what? We could trade on that action as native asset holders. These ETF players can. And I'm sorry, news now happens 24/7, 7 days a week. The way we are with the internet, high-speed internet, accessibility and all that, news travels fast. So to have a product that only trades from like 3 in the morning to like 8 p.m., 5 days a week, except on business banking holidays. Meanwhile, the product that it's reflecting trades 24/7 as the world moves 24/7. I don't know. Those two things just don't line up. But we're going to keep an eye out on the numbers. We're going to keep an eye out on the data. And we're going to keep an eye out on the haters. Why? Because trillions will flow. Doth thou shitteth on me again, sire? See what I'm doing right here? This is SDF holders, right? Or Stellar holders looking up at the sky as SDF is about to dump more lumens on them. And they're like this, like, doth thou shitteth on me again, sire? Thought you'd love the end of the video. I'll catch you cool cats later. I still can't run. My leg doesn't feel